Well, hello to all you miniatures lovers on the interwebs. I'm Doc Eon. It's a Monday. I'm here to ramble. It is Monday, the 18th of April, 2022, and my collection of finished minis this week is quite large. So, well, let's get into it. There are a few metal models here from Reaper. Everything is from Reaper this week, by the way. We have the Cave Girls, and we have the two medieval kids here in the background, and a tiefling. Now, these were largely painted at the last Monday's painting evening at the game store, especially these three. And these three are largely painted with the new speed paints from Army Painter, which the game store had a promotion where they were promoting it by letting people paint with those free of charge. And I mean, it worked okay. I'm not gonna buy them. You know, I'm not gonna switch over from my current painting method to use those instead. It's not that good. But I suppose it works just as well as any other type of these new contrast paint wannabes. If I don't sound enthusiastic, it's because I'm not. Anyway, oh, and we finished the Ogre Porter here. This is the very last model from the Brinewind expansion. It is now done. Yes, so one part of Bones 5 is on the books, so to speak. And we've gotten a good start on the Dark Depths expansion by painting all these fishies. We have a really big shark. We have a smaller shark, maybe a reef shark. We have a hammerhead shark. We have two dolphins. We have the big man-o-war jellyfish. There's not that much contrast in the canopy, so to speak, of it, because I wanted to keep the translucency, but oh well. Then we have this little dude in a lot of garish colors, as is the mega-sized grouper. We have a stingray, or maybe it's an exochitl, and we have a stupendous clam with a pearl in it. Now, how did I get all this done? Well, like I mentioned briefly, last week was a week off from work for me. It's the Easter vacation in Swedish schools, which is ongoing up until today, actually. So I don't get back to work until tomorrow. But yeah, I'm pleased with this progress. So, what am I going to work on the coming week? This is where we're at with the townsfolk, an option from Bones 5. So you'll see a bunch of them have some paint on them, and here we have some bare plastic. And the reason is I didn't have enough of these homemade miniature holders available to prime all of them at once. So these have been first primed desert tan, given a very light paint wash of German grey, and then dry brushed with ivory. This is to set up a base for speed painting, for painting them with glazes and washes, you know, color glazes and color washes, in like I'd say 2 coats for each area. Just a glaze for a light glaze for the basic color, and then the wash for the darkest recesses. This is my theory. I'll just speed through these in no time at all, and I'll do the same with these here. So, in theory, that means all 20 of these should be done by next Monday. Let's see if that holds up. So we also have these bigger guys to talk about. Now, as per usual, I always paint the easy stuff first, which meaning the more complicated models like the Gorloth get left for last. But now I've prepped an even more complicated model in the Sea Giant. So maybe next week I'll actually paint this guy. And maybe the giant will be sitting on my desk for a while. Who knows? Anyway, assembly was not unproblematic. I had to use some hot water and bending, first of all, to get the feet positioned properly on this base. Also to get this shoulder piece to fit at all. Took some adjustment. And then we had this interesting staff, which I first was even more bent, and so I straightened it. But then it can only be positioned one way in the hand, and it has to be at an angle. And if it's completely straight, it will go through the floor, so to speak. So I had to re-bend it slightly to make it fit. And we still have an issue with sort of a seam here, but because I had to do some gap filling, especially this whole left arm is attached to the shoulder. That took some fill-in. And what else? There were a couple of other places, but that was the big one. And hopefully you don't see it very much now. If you look very closely, there's a crease there. Anyway, let's pretend we don't see that. Yeah, so this is a big model, a lot of parts to it. So the way to tackle something like that is to just take one portion at a time. Like, say, in this case, I will probably paint skin from the skin out. So start with the skin, and then the beard, and then the clothing closest to the skin, and then moving outward from it. This is adding pieces. And I don't expect I'll have time to finish this by next week. This is too much of a model for that. This is a long-term project. But it's fine to have some of those as well. That's perfectly okay. So, let's look at some stats. Okay then, looking ahead to next week, I think we need both some character minis and some monsters. So for the characters, I picked out the Henchman, which is a set of 8 models from Bones 5 who were part of, these were extras, these were an optional add-on. Some of them are simply fighters, like this guy. Here's one with a 10-foot pole. I'll have to straighten this out. Little archer. Here's one, the porter, carrying all the big packs, and so forth. And then from the Dark Depths set, we have these. We have a bunch more big monsters, and I'll pick a couple of these. We got 4 here. I've got an Eye of the Deep. We got a huge alligator. We got a really big fish or some sort, and some sort of small sea dragon or something. I don't know. I'll choose 1 or 2 of these, I think, and to prepare. And yeah, I'll get it ready by next week, and we'll see what we can see. Yeah. Oh, just wanted a clear flight stand. That'll be a little tricky, but we'll make it work. Anyway, I've, had my say for this week. It was a fun week. I hope you enjoyed it as well. So thank you for sticking with me to the end of the video. Please also give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so before. Share the video. Comment. All that rest of the stuff. And above all, be back here in a week. Same day of the week, same channel, same Dakian. For now, is signing off.
Bye.